Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing a breakdown of the details for the Dokkan Festival exclusive Android 21 and do a bit of team building as well. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So yes, last night they ended up dropping all the details for the new Dokkan Festival exclusive Android 21 on both global and on JP. And I'll tell you what, not really a fan. Now again, we don't have the data down low, people aren't testing this unit yet, but overall when I'm looking at the details here, it is seemingly, it could have been extremely good, but it seems like they just made some tweaks, or they just forgot something, or maybe they made a mistake. I don't know, something happened in the development of this that either was lost in translation or something, because a lot of it is good when it comes to the visuals. I love the card arts, I love the animations are incredible. But let's go ahead and break down this unit here. So first and foremost, let's start with the non-transform, right? Previous transform. This is a transformation unit into Android 21 good. The leader skill is the one that drives me crazy, right? I'm looking at this going, all I needed to do was to flip it, right? So the leader skill here is androids, Majin Power, and Peppy Gals as the 170, which is the primary leader skill, because then you have the 30% that then boost up to 200%, and that's power absorption, transformation boost, and crossover. I would say majority of people, when they saw this unit get announced that this is going to be maybe a crossover leader, Dokkan Festival exclusive, that would have been incredible. But for some reason, they said, you know what, let's do another androids leader. Majin Power, which is virtually useless at this point in time. And then Peppy Gals is more of a free-to-play type of team than anything else. Imagine if they just flipped it. Power absorption, transformation boost, and crossover as 170%, and then 30% for the 200%, you would have a much more robust options of team building. And again, I don't know what they ended up doing here. Now, of course, most people would say, well, it has Peppy Gals, that means that you can run LR Bulma, which is an incredible support and just overall unit. Correct, but I would trade LR Bulma for options, and transformation boost has a lot of different options. Crossover, we're just in this Super Dragon Ball Heroes and crossover celebration, it would have made a lot more sense. And then power absorption in a sense needs another leader as well. So I don't know, for me, I would have liked the flip, but we'll dive into the team building and how the reasoning, in my mind, would work out a lot better if they did flip it. So let's go ahead and move on to the passive skill here. The passive skill is interesting because I'm going to talk about the banner unit that has an entrance animation, but the Dokkan Fest doesn't. I don't know. So it does have a transformation though. So passive effect here is attack and defense 150%. All allies keep +2, which is great. I wish they would have added like 20% or 21%. 21% support for the Dokkan Festival exclusive would have been really interesting and nice. It would have made a lot more sense too, but they just kept it at 2 there, plus an additional attack defense 120% when attacking and a high chance of evading enemy attack. That's already was like a, what are they doing? Like, can't run this on first position. It's seemingly this is going to be a leader that's going to be running like a floater. Really, that's really where I'm going to be putting this unit here, as a floater. Within the same turn, plus an additional key +2, attack 60% for 3 turns after evading attack, and then launches an additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super attack, launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack, starting in the turn that you've done 3 attacks on, and then disables enemy's attack action once within the turn when a character performs a 6th attack. Now that is incredibly strong, right? Disables the attacked enemy's action once within a turn when you've done 6. So that's if you strategize this correctly, that's a really powerful skill there. So I do like that. I would love to see something a little bit more different than the 6th attack there, and then a great chance of performing a critical hit starting from the character's next attack on top of the 6th attack. So once you hit the 6th attack, you're incredibly strong for that one moment there. So again, very interesting how they ended up building this. Now the links are Brainiacs, Metamorphosis, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, Battlefield Diva, Scientist, and Fierce Battle. Not the best options on there. And then you do have the transformation condition, which isn't too bad, right? Can activate when facing one enemy and starting from the 5th turn from the start of the battle, right? So that's not too bad. And then the super attack is raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage with a high chance of stunning. It's like it's like there's a lot of good stuff and interesting stuff. The leader skill, again, if they just flipped it, would have been a much more incredible leader skill. And then you're just like, okay, what happened here where they could have just added all allies key plus 21% to attack and defense? Why didn't they just add that? Or even with the androids or peppy gals or whatever, just some additional support there would have been very interesting there. And then a whole litany of you just got to make sure you're counting your 3rd and 6th attack. It's an interesting dynamic, which is fine. So again, they have the pieces of a good unit, but of course then you do the transformation. Now the transformation, once you transform, it does become, in my opinion, stronger, right? Stronger. You do have the opportunity to recover 30% once you transform, so it's a nice little boost there. Doesn't matter really where your HP is, you just recover 30%. And then attack and defense 210%, which that makes a lot of sense. All allies key plus 2, that's still the same. Plus additional key plus 2, attack and defense 121% when attacking. Reduces damage by 21%, which they could have just done that before, but they added it on here. And plus an additional 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack. Launches two additional attacks with each attack. With each of it having a great chance of becoming a super attack. That's incredibly strong. And then 21% when HP is 60% or less at the end of the turn. That is incredibly strong as well. So once you transform here after the 5th turn, which you should just transform, right? There's really no reason why you stick around and you stay here, because generally this is an active skill transformation. If this was like a stacking defensive unit, that would then make sense for you to just maybe, hang out for a little bit until you actually need to transform, and then boom, you're in much better shape, a much stronger overall unit, right? But here's the funny thing is, to get there, you're going to need to build this typically like a higher dodge and then an additional attack and dodge. I think crit is beneficial as well because you're doing so much additional attacks already. But those additional attacks are needed, and the additional super attacks are needed because at this moment in time, you're just dodging and your defense isn't really overly strong. And this is, again, not a first position unit. Now, when you're over here, you might be okay in the first position, but again, if you get super attacked in that first position, 21% is just going to be not enough. Even with these additional boosts here, it's, again, would probably be better as a second position or a floater position here. So, just a little couple tweaks, right? Couple tweaks. Leader skill, flip it. Oh, by the way, I gotta. No, actually, I don't have the super attack on here. Super attack, I think stays the same. I don't know if that changes with the. Let me double check. Give me 1 second. Okay. So what happened was, the super attack does change. You also get 5% healing, so that's nice and strong. It's beneficial there. Now, I think the big thing, a lot of people are like, okay, cool, you do get big bad bosses, but this is in a super class unit, so keep that in mind as well. But the big bad bosses would be helpful if you are going to link that up with somebody who has big bad bosses. But we're going to look at the options, right? We're going to look at the options on the team building in just 1 second. But we do have another unit that they provided for us, which was actually Android 21, the evil transform version, which is an extreme physical class on here. This is, again, doesn't make any sense here. You have an incredibly strong instant animation, right? You get attack and defense 120% with a great chance of launching an additional super attack for 4 turns. Yeah, they just added that on there. The rest of it, it's okay. So from the category entry, you have a high chance of launching an additional super attack from the 5th turn after after the 4th turn. With the great chance, you go into high chance, and then you have key +3, 210% attack and defense, so you start that right off the bat. You don't have to wait for a transformation, and then plus an additional 90% when attacking, reduction damage of 21%, so again you have that right off the bat when facing one enemy, and then high chance of performing critical hits when facing 2 or more enemies. Performs critical hit if HP is 60% or less, which I don't like at the start of the turn, or if the target's enemy is 30% or less. So this is more of a, this is the final blow situation. Recovers 30% each final blow delivered, and then recovers HP with candy. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's so it greatly raises attack and defense for 4 turns and causes severe damage to enemy. Links you can see down there: Metamorphosis, Android Soul, Big Bad Bosses, Shocking Speed, Battlefield Diva, Fierce Battle, and Fear and Faith. So you can actually use this unit here, but again, where are you going to put this unit? Because you don't have the regular Android 21 as a first position unit. You have it as a floater. Yeah, it's just not building properly. Oh, by the way, I didn't go over the categories here. You have androids, Majin Power, Peppy Gals, Power Absorption, Transformation Boost, Crossover, and Battle of Wits. Those are your categories here. So you have Power Absorption, Full Power androids, Transformation Boost, Peppy Gals, Majin Power, Battle of Wits, and Crossover. So anyway, those are the new units, the banner unit and the new Dokkan Festival exclusive, and you can see where the flaws are, right? The bigger flaw, again, I mentioned before, is the leader skill. So these are your 200% units that you can actually have. Now on JP, you can have the LR Ribrianne, so that is going to be available. But if you look at the options, it's not all that great. It just really isn't. And if you, again, think about androids, like, what are your really great options on androids? Not much. Peppy Gals, if you had Ribrianne, you can maybe do a little bit more on Peppy Gals. And then what's the last one? I always forget that last one on there. So it's, cover this up. It's Majin Power. That's a dead category. Majin Power is a dead category. So why did they do it that way? Transformation Boost is so much better, so many more options. Crossover, we're just in that discussion right now. It's like, how cool it would be to have a Dokkan Festival exclusive Super Dragon Ball Heroes unit. Well, at least you could have had a unit here that provided a crossover Dokkan Festival exclusive team. And guess what? If you added Key +2, all allies 21% attack and defense, boom, you got yourself a leader support, and then you can run some incredible options on that team. So again, not sure what they were thinking when you looked at all these options here. So when you start building it out, right, I think the clear winners of the current leader skill, right, of course you got the main leader, you got the 21, but a Bulma is, everyone say, okay, at least Bulma's on the team. Like, okay, great, Bulma's on the team, but what else do you got? You do have the 200% to another support unit in Demon Goddess Toa, right? The EZA, the new EZA there. She's really good. And then you have 170% Ran, Gamma 1, and Gamma 2. So you have a lot of support units, but not necessarily like top damage dealing, tanking type of units. When we Ribrianne at one, or not Ribrianne, but Bulma at 170, and then Gamma 1 at 170. It's not as strong as you would like it, right? So when you're building this team here, it's like, okay, if Android 21 is going to be a main rotation, who is going to be in the front, right? Then Bulma is going to have to be in the front, so she's no longer going to be a floater, so that's going to be an option there. Toa, even though I like Toa, she's not a first position unit. And then also Gamma 1 isn't really first position unit until he really builds up. So you have a really big blind spot on there. Okay, so what other options can you run when it comes to rotations, right? Well, you can do a Kale rotation. So Kale is 200%, but of course you're going to have to bring a Universe 6 partner on so that unit can transform, etc. Like EZA, LR, Kale, and Cleefla is really kind of the only option, right? So you don't have any other kind of unit, especially on this team, that's going to be viable. So okay, that's an option there. Now we finally do get a 200% to LR Super Boo, which actually is going to be really good. He's already really good now, but again, who are you going to position that unit with? He's not going to link all that great with Android 21, but maybe you might just put her there. So when does the Super Boo have big bad bosses? I'm gonna check that on there. I would think Super Boo has big bad bosses, right? So let's look at Boo and Majin Boo here. Let's go down to Super Boo. And we have no big bad bosses, so we don't. So the transformation doesn't really even matter. So I'm like, okay, who would I even use this unit? Unless when they EZA Buhan, LR Buhan, maybe you're gonna have a really solid rotation there. You can run a Cell rotation, right? But who are you gonna put with Cell, right? You'd have AGL Cell, you have the support cells. That's not working. So you can see the dynamic of this. This is not working properly, or really as strong as I would assume that they wanted to do, right? And then where then do you put the evil 21, right? Seemingly she's going to be a floater / second position. First position is very lacking on this team. And then where you put Ribrianne for JP, maybe that's the savior, right? Maybe that's the option that you're going to have, at least on JP, but on global you don't have Ribrianne, so maybe she rounds out the team very well. But when you look at, again, these options here, it's not that many options. Whereas if you had 170% crossover or transformation boost, you have a lot more options to choose from. And I think they just really messed up. I don't know why they did what they did. But this is going to be a filler Dokkan Festival exclusive once again. They haven't really been doing that great of a job on the filler units, right? With 1718 is, okay, great. With Super Trunks, I don't know when Global's going to get Super Trunks. You have Piccolo and Gohan, father and son there. So you do have options on these, but none of them are really like super top tier. And I guess that's fine, right? I guess that's fine. But after coming off of Super Dragon Ball Heroes and getting that Limit Breaker Vegito, I guess we were hoping for more. Anyway, enough of me rambling on here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video here. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Of course, I'm still summoning for this unit, but I'm still not sure what they did. So with that, thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.